Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talking Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the rear seat cover kit for the Jaguar E-Type 2+2 models. So obviously that's the 4-seater version, as this is the rear seat. This video also includes the padding foams that we can offer for the rear seats as well. They are sold separately, so just bear that in mind. The covers themselves are included as standard in our trim kits. The foams are an optional extra, so they are not included in the trim kits. So just bear that in mind. Before I dive too much further into it, be sure to check out the description below. It will have lots of information on this specific product itself, as well as useful links to where to buy it on our website and other associated videos to products that you may also require for your 2+2 restoration. There's also a great link to our materials and colours library, which has a lot of information and swatch examples of all the different materials and colours that we offer. We offer the widest range of colours within the industry and materials, so it's worth checking that out, especially if you're at the starter blocks of your restoration process. Then also be sure to check out the link to our blog handbook area. This is constantly getting updated with new articles. We do things very differently here. I'm very proud of the way we do things. We've got a great reputation for our quality and workmanship globally. We've been doing this for almost half a century now, almost 50 years approaching, and like I say, we have a renowned reputation worldwide, both with amateur enthusiasts and professional trimmers alike, award-winning kits, etc. And this blog handbook area goes into details of some of these bits and bobs, and especially the technologies and the processes that we use that sets us apart from the rest. The biggest mistake you can make going into a restoration is assuming when it comes to interior trim that all suppliers supply the same parts in terms of quality. It's not like buying an engine, gearbox or steering wheel. When it comes to interior trim, there are so many factors to consider, so just bear that in mind and be sure to check out their blog handbook area to go into more details on that. Anyway, enough on that, let's dive in. So like I say, these are rear seats and knee foams. These have been done in cinnamon. Cinnamon is a original Jaguar colour. It's a sort of antiqued effect on the leather and the vinyl elements there. It's like a mottled effect almost. These, strictly speaking, are for a Series 3, and you can tell that because it's got the embossed pattern on the pleats, which was original for a lot of the Series 2s and Series 3 cars. However, that being said, the general overall concept of the seat covers is exactly the same all the way through from the Series 1s up until the Series 3s. The only real difference was the, like I said, the embossing versus plain. Obviously the early cars just had plain ones, whereas the later ones had this embossed pattern. It's also worth noting as well that some of the very early cars, Series 1s, but really early Series 1s, this surround here was in moquette, not in vinyl. Just bear that in mind. I have actually done a video comparing those, so just be sure to check that out as well. But these have, like I say, going for a Series 3 V12. They've been made to OEM specifications, so we refer to it as leather-faced, meaning the majority of the seats are in leather, but you do get some elements in vinyl. Basically, the main concept being that the bits that touch your body as you actually sit in the seats are leather, but these surrounds and retainers are vinyl. So, for example, on this cushion base here, all of this top layer here is all leather, but the surround here is vinyl, the retainer here is vinyl. Same sort of concept all the way through with that there. We refer to it as leather face, other people refer to it as leather, so just bear that in mind. We can also offer full leather. Full leather meaning that all vinyl pieces are replaced with leather. Not many other companies offer that. Do not confuse full leather with what other companies called leather. When they refer to leather, they almost certainly mean leather faced, which is what this video is here, so just bear that in mind. So the cover, the rear seat cover itself comprises of 3 main elements. You've obviously got the cushion bases, then the lower backrest and the upper backrest. You then get some loose materials and a couple of bits of piping for bits and bobs. So let's start with the cushion base. So obviously this is the bits that your bum goes on. We refer to a book here. Yeah, I'm talking about this area here. So as with all of our seats, genuine tuck and roll pleats into the scrum foam sewn. It has the obviously left to right seam going across there like that, and like I say, obviously the pleats here are embossed as per original spec for the later cars, and then obviously you get this retainer around here. You then get a loose bit of material which is leather for covering the diff hump there. That kind of intertwines between the cushion and then the lower part of the backrest. Like I say, the backrest element is split into two main pieces and becomes part of what becomes the kind of rear luggage floor area and the trunk luggage area of the car, the boot trunk area. But this is the lower part of the backrest again. Genuine tuck and roll pleats. All of this section here is leather with these side borders, etc. Then you have the retainers and a bit around the diff hump, and then the top retainer are all in vinyl. Just tuck those around to make it look a bit neater for the photo, but that's effectively those there. Then you get the upper backrest, again, same concept again, genuine tuck and roll pleats. All of these main bits here are leather, embossed pleats. Obviously the centre parts remain plain consistently all the way through. It's only the pleats that were embossed. Same concept again, obviously. Onto the pleats, genuine tuck and roll. Retainers, you have this top border here. There's a bit of a, you can see there, it kind of dips in, so it follows the curvature of the seat. I don't think you're really going to see it in this photo here, but kind of covers that curvature there. So there is some definition that needs to be done when trimming these seats, and that's kind of all related to how you trim them and the framework and preparation of the sort of foam padding on the framework. Then you get these loose pieces here. Now, so you get a couple of pieces of piping and a couple of pieces of leather, and these are to cover the strips that go round here into the rear luggage area. Let's see if I can find a better photo. There you are. So you get a bit of piping and then the rubber strips basically. There, perfect. So it's all part of the rear seat mechanism that goes into the luggage floor area. But this part here was leather. It was like a domed rubber piece trimmed in leather, and then a bit of piping that goes down it. So we include those as part of the rear seat kit purely because they're leather, and therefore you want it to tie in with the rear luggage floor. Obviously, if you're ordering a trim kit, everything's going to match up and it's going to be fine. But if you're only replacing one or the other, we include a piece of leather so that it kind of ties in with the rear seat, because obviously the rear seat is leather. So you want the sort of batch to tie in correctly. So depending on your restoration, you may or may not choose to retrim that, but obviously we advise it to, so that it ties in exactly with your rear seat elements there. Now, looking at the foams here, there's obviously only two foams, but three pieces of seat kit. Obvious one, you got the cushion base foam there, and then this one here is the lower backrest here. We don't offer a kit for the upper backrest for the simple reason that you find that the upper backrest really doesn't need it. There's not a huge amount of foam to it. It's more like replacing with a bit of wadding or something like that during the trimming process, but you tend to find that it's just really not needed. In fact, we only really introduced these elements of the foams recently, mainly because of the base elements there, but it's the way they's kind of intertwined, it's best to replace both at the same time. But this backrest one, because you'll find when you untrim it, it's just done in a quite different way, the way it's layered up and whatnot, that you really don't need to, well, often don't need to replace the foam in that one there. So that's why it's a two-piece kit. Bear in mind that is sold separately, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that's just about covers our bases on there. Yeah, hope that was a useful video. Please remember to like and subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts out there, and be sure to check out our next video. Cheers.